Alright guys, welcome back to the next episode of YouTube. Today we're looking at the critical drink cut, so let's get into it. Welcome back to the next episode of West YouTubers. We'll look at the West YouTubers. Today we're looking at a critical drink cut. Now before I do it, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. It really helps out them. So yeah, today I'm going to be talking about critical drink cut. Now you probably asking the critical drink cut, so let's get into it now. I have this Wikipedia pulled up. Let's get into it now. So William Will Jordan, born April 30th, 1983, is a Scottish YouTuber and a professional writer known for the Ryan Drake series, who since 2019 has emerged under the persona of intelligent drunkard. The critical drinker. This is his appearance. That's his YouTube icon. He joined in September 2003. He usually just does reviews and stuff. So let me quickly show his YouTube channel, which I'm not subscribed to him because I really don't care for his videos, but he has 1.7 subscribers, 27 videos. His most viewed video is why guys watch the Turn 60 color scene comparison, and yeah, he usually just does videos, reviews and stuff. But yeah, so yeah, and I have a video. Let's see what went wrong. Now I have a video. This is called Critical Drinkers Bad Review. This is by Pink King. He has 367 subscribers. You subscribe to him. So yeah, I have this video, so let's just watch it.
The critical drinker doesn't understand movies. As someone who reviews movies and shows myself, I find it rather important to give everything you're critiquing a fair shot, no matter how good or bad you think it will be. Alongside that, I like to see whether my opinion on these things are similar or different to many other reviewers out there. And with the overflow of this content, it's not hard to find. After all, sometimes these reviews could help open my eyes to details I missed, or help notice problems that I didn't notice before. They can be very helpful. However, one review as of recently has caught my attention with not only how bad it is, but how hypocritical it is coming from the said reviewer. That reviewer is Critical Drinker, a very successful channel with plenty of reviews and essays regarding cinema and TV. Now, I have been watching him for a while, as his polarizing videos do really well, and I feel that he has had some really great videos and some really bad ones. Now, before I discuss this, I need to clarify something, that opinions are just as important, because when someone likes one thing, doesn't mean everyone will. And that's perfectly fine, but as a reviewer, you need to focus on what is objectively going on, not what you feel about it only. With channels such as Chris Stuckman and Moist Critical doing a really good job at this, as they are able to separate their own opinions to objective criticism, as they're able to say that they enjoyed something that was bad but still could acknowledge its flaws, or they hated something good but they can still acknowledge why people like it. However, that's a glaring problem Critical Drinker has, more than most, as he consistently allows his opinions to mix up with objective facts. And nowhere is this more prominent than with one of his most recent reviews, his Glass Onion review. The review itself shows a surprising lack of understanding to what's spelled out to you in Glass Onion. There's a lot of his criticisms aren't even criticism if you were to just pay more attention to them and think about them for more than 10 seconds. A lot of what he complains about either makes no sense and or are not at all what the film was trying to do. Let's start with something simple, just to show this incredible lack of understanding. Let's start with something simple, as the character's clothing.
Most obnoxiously flamboyant wardrobe since Paul Feig stepped outside. I can't believe you think that real human beings are supposed to look like this, Ryan.
Yet that's not a good point at all. Visuals are very good at determining a factor to a character's personality and life. Such as with animation, characters are designed in certain ways to help distinguish what their personality and character is like, such as more pointy characters being more villainous, where more round and bubbly characters are much more friendly. That's just the simple art of visual storytelling, something that Rian Johnson has proven to be quite good at. Let's go off the top real quick with how Glass Onion masterfully does this. Birdie and Duke, with more flashy and show-offy outfits. This shows that they're more concerned with how they're looked at and how the public perceive them rather than how they act. Since we see Duke using his gun irresponsibly, and Birdie with her loud colors and showing off her loud, flashy clothes, showing that she is toxic, almost like a dart frog. It's a warning sign to the audience that these two aren't to be trusted. And it even works in the opposite perspective, such as with the characters of Claire and Lionel being more muted colors but with more well-crafted outfits, show that they're smarter and more formal, however are still just as much hiding something as everyone else is. After all, they're trying to blend in, not trying to stand out, so they won't get noticed. And then we get to someone like Blanc. He's meant to stand out and feel out of place. After all, he wasn't invited to the island, and his clothing pretty much represents that, with him being the odd one out, him being the unintended piece to this puzzle, him essentially being an imposter, if you will. Each one of these visual distinctions with their clothing each help to establish their characters and whether or not we should trust them. A key point that Critical Drinker completely overlooks, despite it being clear as day. Heck, you sometimes even can tell what these characters are without even recognizing it yourself, as with the simple way of how they look, helping that mindset, even unintentionally, which just helps to make me more baffled of how the Critical Drinker completely disregards this key and well thought out point. And the claim that no one wears outfits like these are just completely wrong. Like, go to any beach now or any party and you'll stuff that's even crazier. Let's move on to another thing that shows Drinker's complete lack of understanding to Glass Onion. And that's with this scene where he says,
And this isn't even mentioning how Ryan blatantly rewrites previous events to show you what he wants you to see instead of what actually happens. Like this scene where Batista's watching his girlfriend supposedly having an affair with Miles only to be observed by Blanc. Now look at the later version of this exact same scene. Notice how Helen's been added in here when she totally should have been visible before. Stuff like this is lazy and cheap, and it completely undermines the integrity of the story because you know that Ryan's basically just rewriting his own rules to suit whatever he wants to happen at that particular moment.
yet that's not at all what's going on. In fact, this whole thing is an intentional addition to most whodunits, and that's the element of red herrings. Now, a red herring is something that misleads or distracts from a relevant or important question. It may either be a logical fallacy or a literary device that leads readers or audiences towards a false conclusion. Essentially, in this scene, it intentionally throws the audience off to keep them guessing up until the end, where we are revealed to what's been going on, to give the audiences a payoff and a masking the deception thrown in by the filmmakers and the characters. Again, this is a hugely important feature to most murder mystery movies, and I'm surprised that he completely neglects to even acknowledge them. Let me correct Drinker's assessment on this scene. Essentially, the reason why we suddenly see her now rather than later is the audience's perspective. After all, the puzzle pieces are now starting to come together, and so we are given a clear picture to what really was going on. No more lies, no more deception. We are being revealed the truth through the film at the same time as the characters. It helps put us in their shoes and helps us understand the story of what's going on, to help us feel that we were solving this mystery alongside them. And again, it just goes to show, why did Critical Drinker completely miss this obvious detail? And I think I know why he doesn't even acknowledge these things. And that's because he does something I like to call bare bones reviewing. Essentially, Drinker is looking at it on the surface level, and since he hasn't either paid attention or given any care to it, he's now just suddenly saying it's bad because he couldn't be bothered to think about it and rather look at it from just the surface alone, which again just shows his complete hypocrisy of filmmaking. As in his previous reviews, he's always stated that the story needs to be well made, it needs to have a huge payoff with the audiences, it needs to feel rewarding. And all of that is being given in this movie, yet he somehow completely ignores it or misses it. And that leads me to the last thing I want to discuss for now, as he's made several mistakes that I could talk about in another video. But for now, I just want to get to what I feel is the root of the problem here. And that's Drinker has a clear bias against the people on the movie, and so chooses to make the movie look bad because he doesn't like the people behind it. Here's my reasoning why I think this.
Made by a man who gleefully set out to burn one of cinema's most beloved IPs to the ground. Tell me, how's that trilogy coming along, Ryan? You know, it genuinely undermines my faith in humanity that a lot of people out there consider this film a smart, well-made movie. The only way I can rationalize it is that just like Steve Jobs, Rian Johnson seems to have some kind of reality distortion field around him and his work, somehow convincing people that he's this crazy auteur genius, cleverly subverting entire genre tropes to tell a fascinatingly original story.
And here he is clearly bringing up things that have no relevancy to the movie itself. Instead, he is choosing to base the quality of people he may either be jealous of or just simply dislike. And to see this clear as day neglect to the film just shows me that Drinker really does not care about what he puts out there. Hell, just looking at his channel, he mostly tends to focus on negativity and a chance to bash on politics.
From politics to music to YouTube, everywhere you look, you're confronted by vapid, brain-dead morons dispensing their unwanted and uninformed opinions like mentally challenged Delphic oracles.
Now, in fairness to Critical Drinker, sometimes it's warranted, with shows like She-Hulk and Rings of Power, and he does give genuine good reviews sometimes. But most of the time, it's not coming out of a spot of care for the films and their quality, but rather a way to extend his relevancy, as he knows without these, he'd lose a lot of viewers. Let's be honest now, drama sells on YouTube. After all, that's why there's so many toxic review channels out there that focus on this bad stuff to help stir up the pot. Nowhere is this more prominent with channels like The Quartering and his infamous and annoying Go Woke, Go Broke videos. Now, this is a whole matter that I will discuss in another video soon, but it's important to show that he prefers getting clicks rather than keeping his integrity, I feel. But then again, if it works, then who's really to blame? The audience for watching it, or the Drinker for putting it out? Now, I'm sure Drinker is a good person, but as a reviewer, he fails in so many aspects. And I know I'm not perfect either, not by a long shot, but I at least know the fundamentals. I know the basics, and I'm still learning to this day. Drinker has been on the platform for years, and yet his reviews have been turning out very mixed in quality. So these are just some of the problems I have with him, and many other channels like him out there. And I hope that those who are watching this can form your own opinions on this and can understand why I'm frustrated, because I love movies, I love shows, and I understand when people don't like them and have problems with them. It's understandable to let your voice be heard. But when you just completely misinterpret a film and only bash on it for the people behind it instead of actual criticisms, yeah, I'm going to be frustrated. With someone who has this many subscribers, it can be rather disappointing, because a lot of people can depend on these channels to determine whether or not the quality of a show or movie is going to be good or not, and whether it's going to be worth seeing. But if you want me to go deeper down this rabbit hole, let me know in the comments. And if I have either gotten something wrong or left something out, I'd be happy to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. After all, I'm open to criticism as well. If anyone has a problem with me, I'm happy with discussing it. After all, I'm just trying to improve my channel and get better as the years go on. But for now, I'll see you all later, peeps. Farewell.
Okay, so you're asking me now. He's still uploading on his channel. I don't watch his videos. Final thoughts. I don't Critical Drink. He's part of one of the Geeks and Gamers. I know Geeks and Gamers. He's part of the Friday Night Lights. Then I don't switch over. I don't like Geeks and Gamers either. But yeah, Critical Drink. I don't care about him, and I don't watch his reviews. So yes, guys, so much for my videos. My next video. Bye.